I told you the mathematical expression for Joule's law, and I told it H is equal to I square RT by J, and H can also be expressed as V square T by RJ. So in these two ways it can be represented. Now in class 9, relation between heat and work, we got the relation H is equal to W by J. You read it in class 9. Joule's law of equivalence of heat and work, H is equal to W by J. So a similar expression, H is equal to I square RT by J, or H is equal to V square T by RJ. So from this relation, comparing this with this relation, we can write the W is equal to, this is W is equal to I square RT or V square T by R. So this is called electrical work or electric energy consumed by an electric appliance. So W is equal to I square RT or V square T by R. This is electrical work or electric energy consumed. It can also be expressed as V into I into T. V into I into T as V is equal to I into R, as V is equal to I into R. So if we put the value of V here again, so we can write is 1 V is represented by IR, so it can also be written as VIT. So Joule's law can also be taken as VIT by J. H is equal to VIT by J, or electrical work I square RT or V square T by R or VIT. It can also be written as V into Q, as I into T is equal to Q. We read it earlier. Q is equal to I into T. So we can write electrical work can also be written as V into Q. So electrical work W is equal to I square RT by J, V square T by R, I square RT, V square T by R, VIT or VQ. Now if they are expressed in SI units, I, R, T, V, Q, all in SI units, then W will come in Joule. So this is electrical work or electric energy consumed by an electric appliance. Now we'll discuss some applications of heating effect of current. Some applications of heating effect of current. First application is electric bulb or filament lamp. All of you have seen electric bulb or filament lamp. There is a glass bulb. Within the glass bulb, at the central position, there is a filament. Now, one question sometimes asked, which substance is used for making the filament of an electric lamp? The filament is generally made of tungsten. The filament in an electric bulb or filament lamp is made of tungsten, or nowadays it is also made of wolframite. WOLFRAMITE. Wolframite is an alloy of tungsten. It contains tungsten, iron and manganese. So either only tungsten or wolframite, which is an alloy of tungsten, iron and manganese. Now these are used for making the filament, as their specific resistance is very high and the melting point is also very high. The melting point of platinum is nearly 3380 degrees centigrade. So it is very high melting point, and that of also wolframite is also high melting point. So that is why these substances are used, and they have high specific resistance, so that huge amount of heat is developed in it due to flow of current through them. Now the central position of the electric bulb, there is a filament, and the entire space within the bulb at first exhausted, all air from inside is taken out, and then inert gas is kept within the bulb. Inert gas nowadays generally argon, and nowadays nitrogen is also used for filling the lamp. The use of nitrogen filling the bulb of a filament lamp. Now the one thing, when the current flows through the filament, actually the lower part, the filament is connected, the filament is projected at the center of the bulb with the help of two thick wires, and these two thick wires are projected outside, and sealed outside, and at the base, then when the base of the bulb is connected to the is inserted in the holder, then they connect with the pins in the holder and electricity flows. As when the switch is given, then current flows to the filament, and within a fraction of a second, the filament becomes incandescent. It glows and emits light. As there is no oxygen within the bulb, so no reaction occurs. So this is the situation. This is the construction of electric bulb. Now, one question sometimes asked: why is inert gas kept within the bulb of a filament lamp? I am telling the answer. Why is an inert gas kept within the bulb of filament lamp instead of keeping it vacuum? Instead of keeping it vacuum, why the inert gas is kept within the bulb of a filament lamp? Actually, in heated condition, the filament material evaporates to some extent, and if the space within the bulb is kept vacuum, then evaporation of the filament material takes place to a large extent, and as the evaporation takes place, the filament itself gradually becomes thinner and thinner, and the life of the filament gets shorter. It becomes shortened. Besides, the evaporated material would create a coating, opaque coating on the inner wall of the bulb, preventing light from coming out. So that is why the space within the bulb is not kept vacuum. If the space within the bulb be kept vacuum, I am repeating, then filament material would evaporate to a large extent at a faster rate, and making the filament thinner in less time, and the evaporated material would create an opaque coating on the inner wall of the bulb, preventing light from coming out. Now, if inert gas is kept, the inert gas exerts up pressure on the filament and reduces the rate of evaporation, and so that cannot happen. And the gas, being inert in nature, doesn't react to the filament material even in its heated condition. That is why inert gas is kept. Now, this is one question. Another question of filament lamp: why do not the two thick wires used for projecting the filament emit light when current flows through although same current flows through them as in the filament? Why do not the two thick wires used for projecting the filament in a filament lamp emit light when current flows through them? The answer is simple. The answer is that the two wires used for projecting the filament are much thicker and shorter than the filament itself. The two wires used for projecting the filament are much thicker and shorter than the filament wire, and so the resistance of these wires used for projecting the filament is much less than that of the filament, and that is why when current flows through them, these two wires are not heated enough like filament, and unlike filament, they are not heated enough to become incandescent. That is why they do not emit light when current flows through them. So these two questions on electric bulb. Next comes electric iron and electric heater. Electric iron and electric heater. Electric heater, I am telling, first electric heater. In a Madhyamik exam, sometimes is asked, describe in brief the working of electric iron and electric heater. Very short. You have to write 2-3 lines for each of them. Actually, main thing in electric heater or electric iron, there is a heating coil which is made of nichrome. Nichrome is an alloy of nickel, chromium and iron. So, this nichrome coil is used in the electric heater as well as in electric iron. First, in electric heater, the nichrome coil is a spiral coil. It is just like that of a curtain spring. All of you have seen curtain spring this curtain, like curtain spring, the coil, nichrome coil. A nichrome coil is a long coil, nichrome coil, and it is kept inserted in the spiral groove on a porcelain platform. I told you earlier, in a spiral groove on a porcelain platform, it may be rectangular or rectangular or circular, any shape, or square shape it may be. The platform, this porcelain platform, there is spiral groove in the platform, and the nichrome coil is kept within the spiral groove. There is a long coil. Now the two ends of the nichrome coil is connected to the mains through the plug connection, and when current flows through the nichrome coil, it gradually becomes heated and gradually becomes hot, and it becomes red hot and emits radiant heat, with the help of which cooking can be done. The coil is open coil. It is not insulated coil. It is a simply open coil. You can see the coil, and that is why it is kept deep within the deep groove. So that it may not come in contact with the cooking utensils. Now, so this is the construction of electric iron. Actually, electric heater. Now, electric heater is very high wattage. Actually, high wattage. So it is 2 kilowatt, or is high power, 2 kilowatt or 3 kilowatt or 2.5 kilowatt. It's a very high power. So actually, as the power is very high current flows through it. We'll discuss electric power later. It will be clear, more clear. So it draws in heavy current. It draws in heavy current due to its high wattage. And so, while handling with electric heater, you must be very much careful, so that the coil, you must be sure that the coil may not come in contact with the cooking utensils. Now, this is the construction and working of electric heater. Now, electric iron, here also the nichrome coil, but the nichrome coil is a bit flat. It is a flat coil. The electric heater, all of you have seen in diagram, in your book, the electric heater, and this is the electric iron. It is a flat coil. It is not a circular coil. It is a flat coil, and like this, a triangular shaped coil, like this, similar to that. And this nichrome coil is kept covered from both sides. Actually, this nichrome coil is made on a mica sheet. Triangular mica sheet is taken. Over the sheet, coiling is done. Actually, coiling is done on a mica sheet. It is a flat coil. And this nichrome coil is kept covered from both sides with the help of two mica sheets. After that, actually, it's covered by mica sheets to make it electrically insulated. Not heat insulation, it is electrically insulated. And to make it electrically insulated, is kept covered from both sides with the help of mica sheets. Now, this sheet and this coil covered with the mica sheets are placed in between two iron or steel plates from both sides. Now, on the upper plate, there is an insulating handle, heat insulator handle, generally made of ebonite or wood. Ebonite is mostly, or bakelite plastic is used for make the handle, so that to make it heat insulated. Now, this is how. So from outside you cannot see the coil. It is kept covered from both sides by the two iron or steel plates, and is connected with the help of plug to the mains. And when current flows through it, it also becomes very much heated and transmits heat to the lower base. Not only lower base, upper portion also, but the lower base of the iron becomes very much hot, and with the help of the lower plain base, ironing of clothes can be done. Now, in case of electric iron, the wattage power is very high. It is also very high, 1.5 kilowatt or 2 kilowatt, like this. So here also very high current flows through it. So you have to handle it very carefully. If the heating coil somehow comes out of the mica sheet and come in contact with the outer metallic surface of the iron, then if you touch the surface, you will get a severe shock. That's why the heating coil, that is why electric heater and electric iron should be handled very carefully with caution. Now one question is asked in the exam: why is nichrome used for making the heating coil in an electric heater or electric iron? I am telling you the answer. Why is nichrome used for making the electric iron, for heating coil in the electric iron and electric heater? For three reasons. Nichrome is used for three reasons. Number one, nichrome being an alloy of nickel, chromium and iron has very high melting point. Nichrome being an alloy of nickel, chromium and iron, if first point is just not melting point, nichrome being an alloy of nickel, chromium and iron has very high specific resistance. You write it in the first point. It has very high specific resistance. It is nearly 80 times that of copper. 80 times that of copper. Nichrome being an alloy of nickel, chromium and iron has very high specific resistance, nearly 80 times that of copper. And so the heating coil has very high resistance, and when current flows through it, it becomes a large amount of heat is developed in it. Number two, nichrome has high melting point. Nichrome has very high melting point, so even when a huge amount of heat is developed, the heating coil is not melted. It remains unmelted. Even when the heat is developed in the coil, the heating coil remains unmelted. Number three, even in heated condition, the nichrome is not oxidized by the atmospheric oxygen. Even in heated condition, even in hot condition, the nichrome is not oxidized by the atmospheric oxygen, and that is why the coil, it may be open coil, it is exposed to atmosphere, nothing will happen to the coil as it is not attacked by the oxygen of the atmosphere. So that is only for these reasons nichrome is used for making the heating coil in electric heater or electric iron. Our next topic is, next device or application is electric fuse. What is electric fuse? What is electric fuse? What is its function? But how does it work? Sometimes this question is asked. What is electric fuse? How does it work? You write, an electric fuse is a short and thin wire of an alloy of lead and tin. A fuse, electric fuse, is a short and thin wire made of an alloy of lead and tin of low melting point, that remains connected in series, to an electric line, through a porcelain holder. It is an intentionally made weak point in an electric circuit. I am repeating, an electric fuse is a short and thin wire made of an alloy of lead and tin of low melting point that remains connected in series to an electric circuit through a porcelain holder. Full stop. It is an intentionally made weak point in electric circuit. Now, how does it work? You write, make it a paragraph, if an electric circuit accidentally draws in a heavy current, if an electric circuit accidentally draws in a heavy current due to short circuit or overload, or due to some reason. If an electric circuit accidentally draws in a heavy current due to short circuit or overload, then the fuse connected to the circuit, due to its low melting point, melts and prevents the flow of current through the circuit, saving it from any damage. I am telling, if an electric circuit, you better write tends to draw. If an electric circuit tends to draw in a heavy current, due to short circuit or overload, then the fuse connected to the circuit, due to its low melting point, just melts, breaking the flow of current through the circuit, and preventing the circuit from any damage. Due to fire. Okay? Full stop. However, the fuse remains intact. With the current needed for normal running of different electric appliances connected to the circuit. However, the fuse remains intact with the current required for normal running of different electric appliances connected to the circuit. Try to understand I am telling. Suppose a fuse can carry a maximum current of 5 ampere, and a 5 ampere fuse is current. This is called fuse rating. I will tell you another question. Now, a 5 ampere fuse is connected to circuit. All appliances connected to circuit, electric fan, electric light, all, say suppose they run with 4 ampere current. And the fuse connected to circuit is 5 ampere fuse. Now, if due to short circuit or overload, if the current tends to become very high, then as soon as the current reaches 5 ampere, the fuse wire melts. However, the connecting wires can carry more current than the fuse wire. So the connecting wires can carry a maximum current of 10 ampere or 15 ampere. So with that current, so whenever the current reaches 5 ampere, the fuse melts. So the current cannot reach 10 ampere or 15 ampere, and so the fuse, by melting, breaks the flow of current and prevents the circuit from any damage. The entire circuit is not damaged by fire. That is why the fuse is connected to circuit. This is the function of the fuse. Now, fuse rating, one thing sometimes is called fuse rating. What is fuse rating? Fuse rating means sometimes it is written 5 ampere fuse. It is asked, what do you mean by 5 ampere fuse? What do you mean by 5 ampere fuse? A 5 ampere fuse means that the fuse can carry a maximum current of 5 ampere through it. If the current exceeds 5 ampere, the fuse melts and breaks the flow of current through the circuit where it remains connected. This is the meaning of the 5 ampere fuse. Meaning of the rating of 5 ampere fuse. So the fuse wire can carry a maximum current of 5 ampere through it. If the current exceeds 5 ampere, the fuse melts and breaks the flow of current through the circuit where the fuse remains connected. This is the meaning of the fuse. Next topic is electric power. What is electric power? What is electric power? You write the time rate of consumption of electric energy by an electric circuit, by an electric appliance, is called its power. The time rate of consumption of electric energy by an electric appliance is called its electric power. The time rate of consumption of electric energy by an electric appliance is called power. Now, power is the rate of electrical work done. I told you earlier that electrical work done W is equal to I square RT or B square T by R or BIT. Now we can write the power P is equal to, if P be the power of electric appliance, then P is equal to W by T. P is equal to W by T. Obviously you can write is I square R or B square by R or B into I. So we can write the power in these forms. P is equal to, you see, P is equal to V square by, P is equal to W by T is equal to I square by R, is shown here, I square R or B square by R or B into I. You can express electrical power in all these forms, and the power will come in watt when W in joule and T in second, and obviously I in ampere, R in ohm, V in volt, etc. So this is how we can express the electric power in different forms. So P will come in watt when I in ampere, R in ohm, V in volt, and R in ohm and V in volt, and that is why the electric power. Now every electric appliance is rated with the electric power, voltage and power. We'll tell rating. We'll tell the rating before that. Now, so electric power I told you. Next comes, you see, another thing that is called commercial unit of electric energy. Commercial unit of electric energy comes, first comes watt hour. Actually, you see, watt is equal to joule by second. So joule is equal to watt second. So unit of power multiplied by unit of time gives you work or energy. So here electric energy is represented in watt hour, or in bigger form is kilowatt hour. Now what is watt hour? Define watt hour and kilowatt hour. First comes watt hour. Watt hour, you write watt hour. If an electric appliance with power 1 watt is used for 1 hour, then the electric energy consumed by the appliance is called 1 watt hour. If an electric appliance with power 1 watt is used for 1 hour, then the electric energy consumed by the appliance is called 1 watt hour. And bigger unit is kilowatt hour. Kilowatt hour, watt hour is written as WHR, watt hour, and kilowatt hour kW. Bigger unit is kilowatt hour. This is kilowatt hour. Watt hour, kilowatt hour. Now what is kilowatt hour? Kilowatt hour, you write, if an electric appliance, a similar definition, if an electric appliance with power 1 kilowatt is used for 1 hour, if an electric appliance with power 1 kilowatt is used for 1 hour, then the electric energy consumed by the appliance is called 1 kilowatt hour. If an electric appliance with power 1 kilowatt is used for 1 hour, then the electric energy consumed by the appliance is called 1 kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour is also called BOT unit, Board of Trade unit. BOT unit, 1 kilowatt hour is also called BOT unit or Board of Trade unit. BOT, B for board, O for off, a T for trade. BOT, Board of Trade unit or BOT unit is also called, and this is the commercial unit of electric energy. And in electric supply department, the domestic electric appliances, the electric energy is measured in BOT unit. Electric appliance in BOT unit, the electric energy consumed in your house is measured in BOT unit, and you have to pay for BOT unit. Actually, 1 unit of electric energy means 1 BOT unit of electric energy. So 1 BOT unit is equal to, you can write 1 BOT unit is equal to 1 kilowatt hour. Now 1 kilowatt hour can be written as 1 kilowatt into 1 hour, and 1 kilowatt is equal to 1000 watt, into 1 hour means 3600 second. So you can write 36 lakh joule. Watt second means joule. 36 lakh joule. 36 lakh joule, or you can write 36 megajoule. It's a very big unit of electric energy. I have written here, you see. So 1 BOT unit is equal to 1 kilowatt hour, is equal to 1 kilowatt into 1 hour. 1 kilowatt means 1000 watt, and 1 hour is 3600 second. So it will be 36 lakh watt second means joule, or 36 megajoule. It's a very big unit of electric energy, and you have to pay the electric bill with this unit, BOT unit. So these are commercial unit of electric energy. Now comes bulb rating. Before that, I have to tell one thing I left in the last class. I will first tell me why are different electric. Actually, it should be have done earlier. I am just telling. I missed that point. Why are different electric appliances connected in parallel? Why are different electric appliances connected in parallel to the mains in household electric circuit? Why are different electric appliances connected in parallel to the mains in household electric circuit? For two reasons. First reason is that if they are connected in parallel, if different appliances are connected in parallel to the mains, then all the appliances can be operated separately, but independently. Each and every appliance can be operated without affecting the work of another appliance. That is why the first point. So each appliance can be operated separately, but all appliances can be operated separately without affecting the work of other appliances. And number two reason is that each and every appliance can operate with the potential difference of the mains. If they are connected in parallel, each and every appliance can operate with the same potential difference, that is the potential difference of the mains. Generally, household potential difference of the mains is 220 volt. So each and every appliance can operate with the potential difference of 220 volt. If they are connected in series, then each bulb by each appliance, all appliance will take the potential difference, and it will not be 220 volt. So they will distribute the potential difference. In that case, they would